I'm Audra. This is
Sandy, and good day to you all. We're so happy to see you.
Yes. And we're bringing the topic of what is consciousness? We talk about that all the time. So now here is a video on how to recognize what is consciousness, what does it mean to be conscious, and how do we even know, or how do we even get there? What does it all mean?
How does it show up?
How does it show up?
Yeah.
So that is our topic for today. So here we go.
Here we go. Consciousness, we talk about it because every one of us who are thinking differently these days has had an introduction to consciousness on some level in some areas of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And they've actually changed what they think or feel based on conscious choices as information came in. That's how I would describe it.
That's a very good description. So some point
At some
of
point,
their life, they
Right.
had to look at their life differently because of a circumstance, right? So, is that what you're saying? Because
well,
that's
they
what
don't
I'm
have
hearing.
to, but they noticed it was different, and
Right,
there
but
was
some-
no have to.
Okay, yeah, they're not that you have to, but
Yeah,
I'm trying to get and grasp
yeah,
that there was an event
yeah.
that happened.
And they noticed, how could I do this
Right.
differently? I don't like the outcome,
Mm-hmm.
and you let it alone
It
for
kind
a
of put a
while
little ding in the ding.
in the armor,
Mm-hmm.
and you thought, okay, and you didn't really do anything right then and there.
Right.
You thought about it,
Mm-hmm.
but then another event happened, and it didn't have any relationship to the first one, but you began to notice that you as an individual, I'm looking at things differently.
Yeah.
My
right.
my awareness of what I used to think, you put your hand against your cheek and you go, my awareness on this was totally different than it is now. And now I'm noticing that my awareness on this other topic is totally different, and I'm beginning to wonder what's going on with me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we call that, you could call it, you're evolving as an individual, you're paying attention as an individual, but more than that, you're bringing choice into your life for the first time, instead of allowing things to be status quo, status quo, status quo. You question nothing. All of a sudden you find yourself, and I'm going to use the word organic because that's how it happened to me. It was like, I don't think so anymore. I didn't even know why I didn't think so anymore, but it just
Something seemed a little different or off, or there was a noticing, or there was some contrast, right?
Yeah, there was contrast for sure, and the contrast offered a different look at that, which seemed to me to be a better fit. So it's
I
this,
see.
it's kind of these little steps that we begin, and I know that I made that decision even on an unconscious level to wake up to things because I was seeking and asking questions about, in observing, I'm saying, like, okay, you go to a basketball game and you watch the basketball game and you watch the behavior of the crowd, and then you say to yourself, they could have worked out that how they navigate those people better, and there wouldn't have been that big to-do over there in that corner. You begin to start to see things differently, and you for not only for the whole but for yourself, and you start to see your government, your local government, well, they could work that out much easier than that, and you begin to have opinions that you never thought you had, and they're opinions of questionable opinions. I mean, like,
Yeah.
so your awareness is growing and growing, and then pretty soon it starts affecting you personally, where that event at the basketball game is the one that you're thinking, I could do something different in my home, I could do something different with my relationships, I could do something different with my kids. And we open up to what we now call consciousness in the moment of how could I handle this party differently? How could I handle this conversation that I seem to be repeating with an individual over and over? How could I handle that differently that resolves it? Well, that takes a lot of consciousness. Otherwise, we just keep rolling out the same carpet. Well, that carpet has seen its days, and it is threadbare.
Right.
It's just like, oh my goodness, I think we bump into areas where we're most sensitive, each of us, and those are all different, and you just know beyond a shadow of a doubt, I know I have to do this different, but I don't know how. But from that moment on, I think the universe, which is what God had in mind when he created it, has our back with vibration, with energy, will bring me the right people, the right situation to keep feeding that consciousness. So that, and then it's like, bingo, that's what I'm going to do. I have I know what I need to do for my life. I know how I have to change and be in the moment, which is consciousness, and be aware that what was going on in my life was not being aware, and now I want to be aware, and I'm making different choices.
Right. So unconscious versus conscious, right? So that's like the awake, the awareness, the aha moment, the little ding in the armor, right? All those little things are like, oh, okay, like those aha moments, right? Like, oh, there is a different way than what I used to think.
Right.
It's the awareness of, oh, I thought it was one way, but actually it's this totally other way.
Yeah, because now I see it totally different, so I can't do that again.
Right, and once your awareness is up, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah,
because then you like
change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, you kind of just wake up and you're like, oh, well, I can't go back, and I don't even have to worry about going back because my awareness is already here.
Right.
You know. So.
Right, and with that, you begin to make your own decisions, and when you do things unconsciously.
Yeah.
And you really begin to see the difference when you are conscious. You really begin to hear your words, whether they were uplifting or boring or a story. But I mean, you have these choices that you never had before because it was so automatic.
Right.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da, same song, same story.
That's a good thing to look at. Like, there is no automatic in consciousness.
No.
You're present. You're there. You're in the game.
You are, because you might change that decision tomorrow because of consciousness.
Right.
Yep. And in the da-da-da-da-da-da, rolling, you never even think about stuff like that.
Right. You don't even, it doesn't even cross your mind.
No. And we were meant to be conscious creators.
Yes.
So the consciousness keeps helping, assisting, blessing us to continue creating the life we really came here to create, even if we don't know every detail, we don't know how it'll end, we don't know all that, but that conscious creation is liberating, it's comfortable.
It pulls you forward.
It pulls you forward.
You feel the movement.
You feel the movement. It even launches you sometimes into like, whoa, I never realized that, so I'm on. And it just has a whole different feeling to your life, and you begin to see, Aud and I talked about your truth. The truth that you thought was true has now been replaced by conscious truth that works for me as an individual. I don't know what your conscious truth is. I don't know what, we don't know what the truth of others is. We just have to trust that they're finding their way, and their truth is leading them to the life they want.
Correct.
So,
but the truth in your own consciousness also helps your friend.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Which is the cool part, which you never even crosses you when you first start. Like, well, if I'm true to me, that means they get to see I'm true to me. They also get to decide if they want to or decide to be true to them, right?
Right.
It raises the consciousness by us getting into consciousness. And
All over the world that
Right.
happened by
Yeah.
us being
Mhm.
conscious. We raise the consciousness of others.
Yep.
And that consciousness, the truth of the conscious moment, raises the consciousness of others through contrast that they never thought they would hear it or see it either. And all of a sudden, they
Yeah.
know they can make a choice.
Yep.
And that is mind blowing.
That is.
That-
That's freedom right there.
That's freedom. That is real freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when I don't know if any of you are familiar with, there's groups that have certain prayer days, universal prayer days, or universal peace days. Because we're vibrational beings and we live by our vibration and the energy infusion from spirit in our soul, that when we ask spirit to bless another country, it's done vibrationally. It's passed along.
Mhm.
That truth is passed along. That
Mhm.
protection is passed along. I might look at it and say, I don't recognize it as being passed along, but I do believe it was done.
Right.
So there's again using hope and faith too.
Mm-hmm.
So, they have those days to pass along the consciousness because, like we've said on our videos, we're all one. We're all
Right.
together. We're all in this.
Right.
We all have the same kids, the same husband, the same family, all different ways of bringing up and describing differently, but still
Right.
It's
We're
still
all connected.
equal.
Mm-hmm.
one.
Right.
All connected, all the same.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the awareness is probably the first step. Wouldn't you say that all of a sudden things strike you a certain way and
Yeah.
you're like, whoa,
Or events happen and you have to become aware. I mean, there's a lot of that too.
there is it.
You
But
know?
well, you can choose not to though.
Right. You can choose not to, but
But that awareness
oh, Lord
is
Jesus.
striking.
Yeah.
It is striking.
Right.
And the awareness can also, with the contrast it shows, can help you get to consciousness peacefully
Yes.
by asking, what just happened here?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I
Mhm.
seeing this?
Yeah.
Well, what kind of effect is this going to have on me if I do this? What kind of
Mhm.
effect is this going to have if I don't do it?
Right.
That's the big
true.
one, too.
Right. Mm-hmm.
What if I have
I mean,
a sick...
across the board, like with death, right? Death makes you revisit, and become aware, if you so choose, of how precious life is. It gives you a lot of awareness and a lot of contrast,
Mhm.
and if you so choose,
Yes,
if you decide to look at it differently than
yes.
how it's been perceived,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I agree with that
and
100%.
the appreciation of that person,
Mm-hmm.
the appreciation of that life. There's a lot of awareness there.
Yes, and when you look at that backwards,
Mm-hmm.
then for the rest of your life, you're going to show people appreciation while they're here.
Yes.
It's life changing.
Yes.
But all situations are life changing when
Yes.
you become aware and conscious.
Yes.
So it's
Yes. It's automatic change
mm-hmm.
because
and
it's a
choose,
right.
and choose the
Mhm,
consciousness and
mhm.
awareness.
Yeah.
And some people are unable to choose awareness for a long time because they're in a resistance pattern of, wait a second, this is how it was, this is how it is.
Holding on to that so
holding
tightly.
on to that old belief of,
Mhm.
well, that's how mom and dad did it, and that's how their
Yep.
moms and dads did it, and that's why we say we're not criticizing them, and you don't have to criticize them. All you
Mhm.
have to do is take a baby step and say, that does sound like it makes more sense for this century or this decade, or
Mhm.
and
Or today.
put together the pieces. Yeah, today.
Yeah.
Put together your own pieces, loving yourself,
Mhm.
because nothing is a have to. It's always a choice. So you can
Yep.
say, that kind of adds up, and I could be a little more comfortable if I did this, or if I
Right.
asked for help, or
Yeah.
and the conscious awareness works together, kind of as like two words teaming each other.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I think consciousness is like Will the awareness and the consciousness kind of help you break through some of those beliefs that are really holding you back? You know what I mean? If you're just becoming aware, you can just, it kind of just, you know, you get to look at things that and ask, is that true? Do I need this in my life, or do I not need this? And do I need this belief holding me back?
They hold, yeah, the awareness starts with that question. Like, now, it actually, I could say forces, I'm not sure that's true. The awareness forces the question. And if once we start questioning, we're on a roll.
Yep.
And we really do start to value our opinions more. Or our beliefs, I should say, not opinions.
Right.
We start to question our belief system based on awareness, like, oh, I don't think I could do that anymore.
Right. Is this so important I have to hold on to this belief that it stops my progress, right? Do I have to hold it so tightly, or can I loosen the grip and maybe have another avenue, or choose something else to believe?
Yeah.
You know, is that really true? Is it really my belief?
Right.
So you get, that opens the door to look and see, where am I at? What am I thinking? How is this playing out?
Right. Yeah, exactly. How is this playing out? And if it plays out that you end up in the same place, that's okay too. Because what you've done though is you've challenged your belief, and that's a good thing.
Right.
Now that doesn't mean tomorrow it might be challenged in a different way, and then you're like, well, now this one does change it for me. So we have all these variables playing together, because our prayer is always, wake me up so I can choose and live my life of freedom.
Right. Most definitely.
I want to be awake.
Right.
I want to be aware. I want to be noticing. I want my consciousness to be in the now day, in the now moment, because when that comes, I want to be able to know that is a choice for me to make today. This is a choice for me to make today.
Yep.
This is the consciousness I was hoping for regarding that situation. And it sounds like we're gibbering here, but we're not. It all works together in
really stepping forward.
Right,
So,
it really does.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my dog Cutie Otter has a little bit to say, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She's like, well, conscious awareness, I love that topic. I'm just playing. Anyway, well, that is, I think we'll just end there. That's, again, lots of fun information to just take what you can, leave the rest, and enjoy your day. Leave comments if you want, leave topics that you want discussed or have questions about. You can reach out to us here, or you can go on the website www.nomatterwhatyou'rit.com to reach out for coaching or consultations, Akashic Record consultations. We're happy to help. We want to see you thriving and living your best life, just because that's a desire of our heart.
Yeah.
And the more people that do it, the better the world will be.
Yep, because we're in charge. We are in charge.
Take your
We've got
power
to
back.
start with us.
That's right. That's right. Again, so no matter what you're it, enjoy your day wherever you are, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks again.